Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Season 2, Episode 8, The Good, the Bad, and Casey Jones. It felt like a million years since we actually had a new episode, so I was glad to see that, this was actually coming on, because I don't watch anything on Nickelodeon but Ninja Turtles, so I didn't know, the show was even coming on until I saw the recording. But I don't know why they changed this, and maybe, if you randomly know, you can tell me, but for some reason, instead of Saturdays now, Ninja Turtles is coming on Sundays, which sucks because it's a day later. Although, with it being so long, I guess it doesn't really make a difference now, so it'll still just be the normal week. But, it's different for some reason. It's on Sunday instead of Saturday. But either way, I'm really glad the season has started up again. And this was a great episode to come back. I mean, it wasn't one of those, lead up episodes. It was one of the episodes that is led to, and this episode was, Casey getting into being the vigilante Casey Jones. And the best thing about it, which I didn't really expect, is that Casey is, by the end of this episode, Casey is already, in the fold. He knows that April's with the Turtles, he knows the Turtles, he knows Master Splinter. And I thought initially it was just going to be like it was, in the beginning. And I believe in the original stories, like, Casey and Raphael kind of team up for a little bit before Casey actually joins the rest of the Turtles, because they're just like, because they're kind of the same, so they just go up and beat people up. And it was cool because that is kind of how they met in the original story. And, it started off with them, like, fighting the Purple Dragons, which was cool. And then, like, the entire episode was just really good. It was a great action episode. Like, the ending, I think the last 10 minutes were just, like, amazing, action scenes. Like, when they were fighting in the cave, it was really cool. And like when Master Splinter hit the one robot and he just like knocked the head clean off with the backhand, I was like, that's really sweet. And then they had like the slow motion part where he like beat up the two, and like he knocked one up in the air and jumped up and did like a 15 hit combo, and like all the turtles were just like whoa, because it was sweet. But it was a great episode. I love, Raphael being, Raphael. I thought it would be sort of a split story, but I was glad it came together instead of it being, Casey being out, being, learning to be like the vigilante Casey Jones. And then the other story was Raph being really angry. They just blended all together into, one good story, which was really, really good. So, loved the way it all came together. We also got a great introduction. We got a new character. We got April's friend Irma, I believe that was her name, who she wasn't in like the TMNT cartoon from 2003, I don't think, but she was in the 80s cartoon. So as soon as I saw her with the glasses, I was like, there's no way that's her, right? But it makes sense it would be, because they don't ever show anybody at that school. So it was cool we got Irma in the show. She was at least, introduced. It was cool to have that little nod. She's in there, and she kind of sounds just like she does in the 80s show, which I thought was kind of funny. I don't know, it could be the same woman who actually voices her. But either way, it was cool to have that random introduction, because I wasn't expecting that either. And, like I said, it's such a tiny thing in the episode, but it's also just a really cool thing because it shows that she can be in the storyline, because she is technically a really big character in the Turtles, franchise. She's kind of like the main character who's like the last main character, but she is one of the main characters. So it was cool to have her introduction in there. Casey kind of like writing his journal as a vigilante was kind of interesting, mostly because after he fought Raph, they showed the little picture of him standing over Raphael, and it was like the really old graphic novel type of Ninja Turtle look. So he had like the sort of pointed mouth instead of, a regular, just I guess flat face. I don't know, but the drawing was kind of cool. But yeah, I love this episode. It was a really good one to come back on. Like I said, from I don't even remember when it went off. I feel like it was like October it went off or something, but it's been a few months. So glad to have it back. Love this episode. Like I said, love the action. Definitely the chase at the end was amazing. Them, Raph and Casey working together. How they were kind of, like one would go forward and then, he'd kind of spin around and jump back, and then the other would go forward. And they were like dodging the pipes and stuff while they were on the subway train. And then they're just chasing this one robot, and it was just really cool, like just how all the moves they did, like when Raph threw his first eye and he stabbed it in the arm, and he was running up to it to like knee it in the face, and it basically just like broke its own arm off and ran away, and he like kneed the wall. I thought that was just really cool, because it was like they're trying to stop this robot, but they can do it in a way they couldn't really do with a human. Like he wouldn't have, thrown aside to like stab a guy in the arm. So it was really cool because they could do things that they wouldn't have been able to do against a human foot ninja. But ultimately, cannot wait for next week's episode. Saw the preview, just some big secret. Who knows what it's really about? But it's something to do with the Krang. So excited to see that. Hopefully Shredder and Karai are going to be in it, and hopefully Shredder is actually back in New York. But I'm pretty sure he's not. I think when he comes back, there's going to be, excuse me, there's going to be some huge storyline for that because he left to Japan for some important reason. So excited for next week. But comment below, let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Favorite parts, least favorite parts, and definitely let me know now that Casey is in the fold. We had his introduction, I think 2 or 3 episodes before this one. How do you guys think Casey's doing in the series so far now that he's had his introduction and we've gotten his introduction into, Vigilante Casey? Do you guys think they're doing him justice, in this series, or would you guys rather he be, the older Casey? So comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.